Jeez, guys. Getting tired of these questions. I'm just kidding. All right, the next question that I got from my buddy Chad, I won't say his last name. Hopefully he subscribed, liked my YouTube videos so I can get rich. His question is, he just wants me to explain what buying on margin is. And it's a pretty simple concept, really. Now, if you want to increase your buying power by borrowing money, you can buy something on margin. Now, most brokers often offer margin trading accounts, Fidelity, Interactive Brokers, whatever. And basically what they do is they give you margin requirements. Like they'll say, I will lend you this amount of money as long as you put up some money yourself. And then you can use that money to kind of grow your gains faster and faster. So for example, I have a Fidelity margin account. I don't actually buy on margin, but I open one up just to kind of understand how it works. It's just a simple application. You just apply for it, you answer some questions, and then they allow you to trade on margin. Now, at Fidelity specifically, they allow you to do, I believe, 2-to-1 margin. So for example, let's say I want to buy Walmart stock and I want to buy 100 shares of Walmart stock. Well, I can actually just put in enough money to buy 50 shares of Walmart stock, and Fidelity will lend me the money at interest, and I can buy that additional 50 shares of stock using Fidelity's money they loaned me. Now, Fidelity makes money because they charge me interest. And if I lose too much money on margin trading, they can actually close out the position. So your broker will give you a certain amount of money you can borrow to buy stock on margin. And then the remainder, you have to actually put in your own money. So the broker isn't 100% at risk, with whatever stocks you want to buy. Now, there are margin requirements. So let's say you start losing money on a stock and the stock goes down and down and down, and your equity shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. But once you get to a certain amount of equity, you're going to get a margin call from the broker, which means you're going to have to put more money in to keep your equity at a certain level. And if you can't do that, they're going to sell your position for you because they want to make sure they limit their losses as well. So, is margin good or bad? It's freaking horrible. It's a bad idea. When you buy on margin, you're borrowing money, number one, so you're paying interest. And sometimes those interest rates aren't cheap. I think Robinhood has low rates, and I haven't checked Fidelity's, but I'm sure they're not that high. Everybody has low rates now. And that kind of pushes people to borrow money and gamble on the stock market. That's why you see these wild fluctuations, because money is so cheap. People can just pile money in and gamble, and stocks only go up and stuff like that. But what happens is, let's say you're like 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 margin. For every percent that you gain, you get like either 50% or double of the gains. But you also magnify your losses. So if a stock goes down by 1%, you could lose 2%. Depending on what your margin is or more. Now, if you're doing like currency trading, you can have, 1 to 100 margin. You can borrow massive amounts of money to trade currency, but you can also lose money. You can lose all your money instantly with a minor fluctuation in the market. So if you get margin called, not only are you losing the money you put in, but you're losing it in at double, triple, quadruple the rate that you would normally, and you're going to have to put more money in to keep your margin at that level. So if you want to gamble and potentially make more money in the market, sure, you can open a margin account if you want to gamble on short-term fluctuations. But you're going to pay interest, and your account balance is going to fluctuate much more rapidly, and you could lose equity 2x, 3x, 4x as fast, which is stupid. That's gambling on the market. And I'll say it over and over again. You don't invest to gamble. You invest to own as much of the world as possible over your lifetime. And then you get to a point where you own enough of the world that the world can just pay you dividends, or you can sell in capital gains and live off the money. That's the whole point of investing. It's not to gamble. Margin trading is gambling. And if there's a crash in the market that you're not expecting, you're going to get crushed. You're going to get margin called, and you're going to amplify your losses. It's stupid, okay? Don't do it. But that's kind of margin trading in a nutshell. You're just borrowing money from a lender, from a broker. They charge you interest. You have to keep your equity, which is your ownership, at a certain level. And if you start having these huge losses, they can actually liquidate your position automatically to limit the losses, which means you lost a boatload of money. So you have the potential of having to throw more and more and more money in and lose more and more and more very quickly. So don't freaking trade on margin, okay? But if you want to experiment and put $10 in, buy Tesla, you go right ahead. But I guarantee you're going to get screwed, okay? That's all margin trading is. You're borrowing money. You can amplify your gains, but you can also amplify your losses. It's as simple as that. It's stupid. It's gambling. It's not a good idea. Buy the world. Hold it. Index funds. That's the way to go. All right? Like the video. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Share it to your friends. I need to grow my channel so I can make money. You guys have a wonderful day.